Welcome back, everyone. It's Cody Hart for Government Accountability. It is Saturday, June 15th. Everyone, I've been anxious, and I know you have been, and I've been wanting to give you an update on the decision by the Washington State Supreme Court in my case against multiple Skagit County officials for intruding into public office, election violations, and many acts of malfeasance, misfeasance, neglect of duty, violations of oath of office. But the Supreme Court now, we're entering into the third calendar week, has not made a decision. I have been in contact with the Supreme Court clerk's office, and it's been interesting. They expected it to be on the Thursday or Friday a couple weeks ago that I would hear back. They expected for sure by the end of this week, and now they have told me they have no date that they can give me, and I understand because there is no one in charge of the Supreme Court. This is a very significant case. It's not the only one going on, and it won't be the end all, but it will be a very major setback if there is not a decision on this. And so I wanted to let everyone know that we are still waiting, and to make sure I gave you guys the reality of what I have seen in the court system. And that is the courts, frankly, find a procedural or other way not to rule on the matters in front of them. I think I did a good job making the Supreme Court understand they didn't have a choice. They had to address this. It's their duty. But I have seen some very wacky stuff in the Washington State court system, and I am not sure that the Supreme Court has escaped the infiltration by the number of corrupt partisan people who will put partisan politics above the law. So we will wait and find out, and I'm hopeful, and I hope you guys keep your hope up. I also wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on some stuff that's going on. So there has been some background stuff that I've been waiting for and I've been kind of looking at, and I thought I would share this with you guys. So I've got a email here, right here, that you will see. I asked a number of weeks ago for the Skagit County Sheriff's Office to clarify what has been going on with all of the criminal complaints that have been filed. I have a number of people I've been coordinating with, and it's my understanding there has been in the number of hundreds of individual complaints filed against Lisa Janicki is one of them, but corrupt officials in this county that have been filed with the Skagit County Sheriff's Office. And I was at the beginning of that. So let me read this email to you about the lack of information about what's going on in the criminal complaint I filed. So it says Jamie. Now Jamie is the person who was coordinating with me with the Skagit County Sheriff's Office, Jamie Breadstrand. Jamie, I have contacted the Office of Prosecuting Attorney, but they have refused to discuss this matter with me and inform me of who made the determination. This is in regards to where the criminal complaints stand and case numbers being assigned. I request to be provided the name of the attorney who has issued the determination, or have your supervisor contact me to explain why the information is being concealed. Well, what I got was something I never expected to get. Now, I'll read you the response. And again, this is me demanding to be told why case numbers weren't being assigned, who was responsible for it. They told me the prosecuting attorney's office. So I thought it was the Skagit County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, but the response right here, Mr. Hart, again, this is from Jamie Breadstrand, on behalf of the Skagit County Sheriff's Office. So I want you to understand that statement is very significant. This is an official response on behalf of the Skagit County Sheriff's Office. We are not at liberty to discuss the issue due to attorney-client privilege. Now, I want you guys to think about this. It may be hard to understand. The sheriff's office says they won't tell me who the prosecuting attorney is that they have been coordinating with because of attorney-client privilege. And I had to think about this for a long time. I really did. So we have all been going through this struggle in Skagit County because we know we have intruders into public office. And I think this is another example of the repercussions of that, because I don't believe we know who the current Skagit County Prosecuting Attorney is that the Skagit County Sheriff's Office is coordinating with, and they will not tell us because they do not want to disclose legally who has been assigned as prosecuting attorney in this county. And it's possible that the departments in this county are falling apart. They are all going into self-defense mode. When in the world have you guys heard of a government agency not saying who the government attorney is? I've never heard of that. This is not an attorney responding. This is the Skagit County Sheriff's Office. They're not referring us or informing us who the attorney for the county is right now. And they won't tell us. They say aren't required to tell us because our government doesn't have to tell us who the attorneys are that work for us. It boggles my mind. Well, I have been piecing together what I think has been happening. And that is because of so many criminal complaints being processed. I have been contacted and reached out to by the City of Mount Vernon city attorney. And there's been some very interesting communications. One of those is part of a letter that I wrote the City of Mount Vernon city attorney Kevin Rogerson and the city mayor, City of Mount Vernon mayor, in regards to their involvement in all of the Skagit County matters that I have been put in touch with them over. And I'd like to just read part of that letter to you right here. Additionally, I feel obligated to point out that I, as well as many other members of the public, have become increasingly concerned at the City of Mount Vernon's insistence to be in control of this and other cases involving Skagit County officials, and has refused to refer this and other matters to the Washington State Attorney General or a federal law enforcement agency due to obvious conflicts of interest, such as those created by the city attorney and city government being parties to a number of contracts that include Lisa Janicki and other county officials named in complaints the city is investigating. Now, that's right. It's my understanding what's been going on is these hundreds of complaints that have been going into the Skagit County Sheriff. There has been some sort of deal worked out. And I know this has happened because this letter is to the City of Mount Vernon in response to them reaching out to me saying, oh, they've claimed that they're in charge of investigations. I don't know all of them. I know that some of them are what I've reported. But they have claimed jurisdiction to investigate the county. Well, the problem here is the City of Mount Vernon is in a number of contracts with the city, the Skagit County government, the people being investigated. And also, so any guilt found against these county officials, in focusing here on Lisa Janicki, really brings into question whether there was laws broken by the City of Mount Vernon that the city investigation would be investigating. And so there's clearly a conflict of interest by the city being in charge of this stuff. And why they refuse to refer it out seems pretty straightforward, because they don't want there to be any investigation that finds the City of Mount Vernon was part of the violations of law that have been reported, part of the overthrowing that's been reported. And this is at state and federal levels. So moving on. Also, I find it appropriate to bring to light the little discussed concerns that the county clerk, Melissa Beaton, that's right, who is assigned duties involve the official bond claims. A lot of these criminal complaints include information about the official bonds of county officials, may be culpable. That's right. So she is also a public official for the City of Mount Vernon, creating grave concerns. There can be no unbiased assessment by the city attorney when the outcome will likely result in claims against the city and city officials. Again, I'm restating this. This is something I've had lawyers tell me about in the past, that there is some really fishy stuff going on here with the City of Mount Vernon, having a city council member who is also a county official. And they are involved in a lot of matters together, financially and government-wise as far as authorities. And in this case, the city is claiming jurisdiction to investigate county corruption when the city itself has county officials part of the city government. I think everyone out there sees why this is such a problem, and that why the City of Mount Vernon and the city attorney, Kevin Rogerson, and the city mayor insist on preventing these complaints, hundreds of complaints from Skagitonians, from being brought to the attention of someone who may see this with clear eyes and not be biased. Because I personally believe the City of Mount Vernon is culpable for a lot of stuff going on here. And this is how they're protecting themselves. They're concealing it all within their own investigation, and they don't plan on exposing it to anyone who actually would hold the City of Mount Vernon liable. I'll also point out, as I started, the sheriff's office noticed to me they won't notify me of who is acting as the prosecuting attorney in Skagit County. I think this letter is shedding light on what one option is. And that is that the city attorney, Kevin Rogerson, is the prosecuting attorney for all these matters for the county. And I think that has to be true to some level because he's performing the duties of a county official. Again, these complaints went to the Skagit County Sheriff's Office. Skagit County Sheriff's Office is supposed to report directly to the Skagit County prosecuting attorney. Well, that appears to be what's going on here, but that's not who the Skagit County prosecuting attorney isn't who we think it is. In this case, it appears, whether lawfully or not, Kevin Rogerson, the City of Mount Vernon, under the authority of the mayor of Mount Vernon, has assumed the powers of the prosecuting attorney's office for our county. This is not a simple thing. I know this is complicated and maybe a little hard to follow. It was hard for me to put together as well, but I have shed light on this before. It is possible, as I mentioned before, the Mount Vernon mayor is acting as the sheriff, and the City of Mount Vernon attorney is acting as the prosecuting attorney for our county right now. Whether lawfully or not, it appears what's going on. I think that their involvement in this show that. So, again, I will let everyone know when the Supreme Court finally lets us know what their opinion is, if they issue any orders or if they try to do what so many judges I've seen have done in this state, which is simply not rule on things, find a reason not to rule on it because they can't stand the political implications. This is potentially going to remove 6 to 8 Democrats who have illegally intruded on county government's positions in Skagit County. I don't know how much clearer this can be. This is an overthrowing by many Democrats who've been coordinating. They have been coordinating in violation of the separation of powers of our state. They've been coordinating to overthrow our election system, in my opinion. And I can't understand why this hasn't blown up bigger. And maybe the Supreme Court is going to handle it. Maybe not. I am hopeful of it. I'm going to ask you guys to keep your prayers going so we can still maintain this hope. And high likelihood in the next couple of days, I'll be back with an update. And this whole City of Mount Vernon thing. You know, if I was a City of Mount Vernon resident, which I'm not, I would be at a council meeting asking them what in the hell they're doing, why the hell they're doing this. And ask them to stop doing it and to transfer this out of the Mount Vernon Police Department, mayor, and city attorney oversight, because they clearly can't be a part of this without being biased, without shedding some sort of doubt on the legitimacy of what they're doing. So, again, thanks everyone for keeping up. I'll keep you updated as soon as I can. Talk to you later.